Hi guys, it's Kales, and I'm back. It's so good to be making videos again. I had to take a serious break with everything that's been going on. My mom is doing well, things are going good, but family went on vacation, grad school was finishing, a whole lot, and all these financial things, car broke down, like, just all these things. And I just had to put making videos on the back burner, and it's unfortunate, and it sucks, but it happens, and that's okay. It's 2018, it's a new year, I'm coming back, Kaleskorner is gonna be there, loud and proud. I am here to make videos and to communicate with you guys. I have several goals and things that I wanted to do for my channel, and yeah. But the first and foremost is making videos and connecting back with this community and talking about books, because there's a lot of really awesome books out there to talk about. My first video of 2018 is coming at you with a little bit of annoyance. I am a huge fan of historical fiction. Love it. Great. Untold stories of history turn me on. My jam. Love it. Fantastic. Any way that you want to say it. I love untold stories of history. Love historical fiction. I love YA historical fiction. It's an underrated section of YA, in my opinion, and it just is sad. So, when the YA Booktube Awards were coming out, and Elizabeth was like, hey, what category do you want to judge? I was like, historical fiction. Me, all the time. Yes, please, historical fiction. Little did I know that the historical fiction books nominated would suck. Plain and simple. Elizabeth has already announced the 3 finalists that are there for historical fiction for 2017. And they are The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, Before the Devil Breaks You by Liva Bray, and Now I Rise by Kristen White. Some of the other nominations were Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz and Hunting for Prince Dracula by Carrie Magaglisutpalema, and whose name I can't pronounce. Here are my couple of problems. Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue is the only one out of this list that gets a pass. All of the books nominated were hyped books, and I'm really upset about that because there were some really amazing historical fictions that came out this year that didn't even get mentioned. I went on a huge Twitter rant about it, and now I'm going on a video rant. So here's some YA historical fiction that I think should have been nominated for the YA Booktube Awards. Mind you, I have not read all of these. I am working my way through them. However, I think they should have even, like, deserved a mention, maybe? And instead, we just got a bunch of hyped books, and nobody even noticed these little guys, so I'm rooting for the little guy, and I'm gonna tell you about them. This first one that I have is one book that I actually have read. It was the last book I read of 2017, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because it was just that amazing, and it's called Speak Easy, Speak Love by Mikkel George, and it is a 1920s retelling of Much Ado About Nothing by Shakespeare, which is one of his most underrated comedies ever, and it's amazing, guys. This book was so sweet and so good, and just great. 1920s. Who doesn't love that? Like, this totally could have been a thing. And yet, did it get nominated? Nope. Should have been. Totally. We've also got Ironcast, which is set in 1990 on the verge of the roaring 1920s, and is about these 2 girls who have magic, the ability to create art and inspiration, and they get caught up with the mob. What? And look at this beautiful cover. Look at this beautiful cover as it tries to shine in my light. But, like, for real, guys, why was this not even mentioned? Does anybody know that this exists? And it has a woman of color on the cover. Maybe this was a thing that could have been considered. That would be great. Or, how about this one? All of you know Codename Verity, which is a really popular World War II historical fiction YA novel. Well, how about the prequel that came out this year, The Pearl Thief by Elizabeth Wein? Did it get mentioned? No, not even a slight vote, nothing. Yeah, so this is the prequel to A Codename Verity about Julie Buford Stewart and her story and waking up into a hospital and not having the summer that she planned, and just, why would you not love this? Seriously, especially those of you who have read Codename Verity, it's a continuation. Elizabeth Wein is a fantastic writer. How about this one? Let's travel to the 17th century Scotland, like Outlander, which is what everyone's saying the Freemason's daughter is a YA version of Outlander. Look, she looks like Merida. She's, like, really pretty. There's kind of like this Romeo and Juliet story between clans and trying to take over England, and it's the whole era of Outlander. And so why would you not take a dip into this? I can't understand. Or this one was a really exciting one with a little bit of magic, and oh yeah, some time travel, which counts in the historical fiction category, even though it's a little sci-fi, whatever. We'll work on that. The Girl with the Red Balloon is about a modern girl who goes to Berlin and she sees a red balloon and she takes it, and it takes her to 1988, which is when the Berlin Wall was up, and it's about the balloon makers and how the balloons are transferring people between the wall and stuff, and they have no idea how she got there, and there's a little bit of magic and a little bit of history, like a lot of bit of history, but this sounds so cool, and it was so short and like so pretty, and why, in a beautiful little love story too, and should have been mentioned. Just saying. Speaking of time travel, let's talk about Brian Graydon's Invictus, which is this amazing book about time traveling, like, pirates and bandits, and that could have been a mentioned thing. I don't know. Ryan Graydon is a really popular author, and I don't think I'm saying her last name right, but that's okay. She wrote Wolf by Wolf and Blood for Blood. We all know she's a really great history writer, or at least alternate history, which is kind of what this is, but it still takes place in all these different time periods, and why would you not pick it up? Here's another one that I read recently that I absolutely enjoyed and gave a 4 out of 5 stars, and that's Dreamland Burning, which is about the riots in Oklahoma in the 1920s, which I didn't know was a thing, and it was a dual perspective story about a girl who finds a dead body in her backyard, and it's about how and who she figures out the dead body is while telling a simultaneous story about a white kid during these Oklahoma riots, and just come on now! A couple of other ones that I want to mention was Cold Summer, which is about this boy who is overcoming his PTSD because he's a time traveler who keeps traveling back to the battlefield in World War II, and he meets this girl who helps him handle his mental illness, and it's time traveling, World War II, and adorable love story. Continuing in that same vein, we have Midnight at the Electric, which tells the story about 3 different girls, one who's set in the future who gets accepted to go to Mars, another girl who's in the 1930s during the Dust Bowl and in Oklahoma, and the last girl's in 1919 trying to overcome the grief of losing her brother in the First World War. And it's about how their stories intertwine over history, and just come on now! Finally, the last one that I want to mention is Night Witches, which is about these girls who were Russian who would fly planes to destroy Nazis during World War II. How cool is that? So needless to say, there were a lot of really cool historical fictions that came out in 2017, and none of them got mentioned. And so I just challenge you guys, in 2018, broaden your horizons, try and read stuff that isn't hyped. I'm gonna try on my channel to continue to talk about books that are not necessarily on the New York Times bestseller list, but that doesn't mean that they don't deserve it, and that doesn't mean that they're not great, and I just think that we should be advocates of challenging ourselves and reading outside of our comfort zone. So that's the goal that I have of this year. I hope that my channel is able to help you do that. And yeah, so pick up a historical fiction that may not be, you know, crap. I rant over. Until next time, guys. Bye! I just have this thing. I just don't like hyped books, and I just wish that there were other ones, and it just felt like not only the popular ones got the votes, and that was irritating, but it's okay. Oh! Whoa! Why am I upside down? Okay, there we go.